A long time ago, they wanted to choose you. A spiritual reflection on divine timing, false judgments, and the sacredness of your becoming. A long time ago, they wanted to choose you. Their spirit felt a pull toward you that even they could not explain. In the quiet of their heart, they saw something divine in you, something gentle, eternal, and raw. Your presence carried the aroma of healing, the vibration of truth, the rhythm of someone who had walked through fire and still chose love. You were not perfect, but you were real. You were not flawless, but you were formed by the hands of struggle and sacred survival. They recognized you in the depths of their soul, even if their mind could not yet comprehend it. But someone toxic whispered poison into their ear. Someone who could not understand light unless it was dim to match their own darkness. Someone who, bound by their own wounds and illusions, saw your strength as a threat and your tenderness as a flaw. They said you were too broken to be chosen, too scarred to be sacred, too old to still stand for yourself. They couldn't see that your scars were your anointing. They couldn't see that your age wasn't a curse, but a crown. They couldn't see that your so-called brokenness was a very doorway through which divine light poured in. The lies that were spoken. The toxic ones spoke lies not because of who you were, but because of what they couldn't bear to face in themselves. Your resilience revealed their apathy. Your truth exposed their deceit. Your very being demanded reverence, and they were incapable of honoring what they could not control. So they sought to distort your image in the eyes of others. They said you were too much, too intense, too complicated, too tired, too wounded. But the Spirit sees differently. In the kingdom of heaven, the ones who limp are often the ones who have wrestled with angels. The ones who cry out are the ones who still believe that someone is listening. The ones who've broken down are the very ones who will one day rise with new names, new strength, and new vision. They wanted to choose you. Their soul did. But they were weak, not because they were evil, but because they were afraid. And fear listens easily to lies when truth requires courage. It takes courage to love someone who has been through the wilderness. It takes bravery to love someone who has fire in their eyes and a story in their silence. And though they felt you were theirs, they turned away. Not because you weren't worthy, but because they weren't ready. They believed the lie. And in doing so, they walked away from a sacred assignment. Your journey was never a mistake. Let me remind you, every tear you cried in silence, every time you had to pull yourself up from the floor, every betrayal that tried to convince you that you were unlovable, none of it was wasted. The divine was with you even then. God does not abandon the broken. He sits with them. He binds up their wounds and makes beauty out of the places others discard. He chooses the rejected, the misunderstood, the cast out. He sees not just who you are, but who you are becoming. You were never too old. In fact, your years carry wisdom that youth cannot fabricate. You are not behind. You're aligned with a deeper purpose that unfolds at the speed of trust, not haste. And you were never too broken. You were breaking open. You were shedding skins that no longer fit. You were being softened so that compassion could live in you fully. To be broken is not to be ruined. It is to be real. And what is real is what God can use. When love is delayed by deception, sometimes people delay their own blessings because they listen to voices that don't speak from heaven. The person who once looked into your eyes and saw eternity turned away because someone wrapped in bitterness convinced them that you were not enough. But truth cannot be buried forever. Even now, there is a stirring in their spirit. They may not say it out loud, but they feel your absence like a silence too loud to ignore. They know they lost something sacred. They sense it in the quiet moments. They hear your name in their spirit when they pray. Because what is destined has a frequency, and it echoes across time, across heartbreak, across even the voices of deception. Still, this is not about them. This is about you. This is about who you are becoming on the other side of rejection. This is about your resurrection. This is about your sacred return, not to them, but to yourself. Your return to yourself. When someone chooses a lie over your truth, it's not the end, it's an initiation. It's a spiritual rite of passage. It's your invitation to stop begging people to see you and start standing in the light of how God sees you. God never turned away. He saw what they couldn't. He watched you as you wept. He cradled your weary heart and whispered, "You are still mine." He called you beloved even when others called you a burden. And now, the healing has begun. Not the kind that erases your story, but the kind that honors it. The kind that makes your pain into poetry. The kind that lets you hold your head high, not because life has been easy, but because grace has been sufficient. You are not too late. The lie said you were too old. But in the kingdom, timing is divine. Abraham and Sarah laughed at the idea of birthing destiny in old age, and yet it was in their lateness that the miracle came. You are not too old. You are exactly where eternity meets preparation. Every step you've taken, every year you've lived, has been shaping you for now. Your time has not passed. It's being perfected. Let those who turn away stay where they chose to stand. Forgive them, bless them, release them. They were not your enemy. They were a test, a mirror, a lesson, a divine detour. But your journey, your love, your purpose, it continues. You still stand. Despite it all, you still stand. Not with the same innocence, perhaps, but with more wisdom, more depth, more reverence for your own sacredness. You don't need to be chosen by the ones who cannot see. You've already been chosen by the one who made you. You were crafted in light. You were kissed by glory. You are heaven's echo walking in human form. So now, stand up. Stand up in your softness. Stand up in your truth. Stand up with your crown of scars. Stand up as one who is no longer waiting to be chosen, because you have already been set apart. A final benediction to the one who was lied about, to the one who was left behind, to the one whose love was too deep for shallow hearts. Let the Spirit remind you today, you are not too broken to be loved. You are not too old to be chosen. You are not too late for what is yours. You are the sacred that fear cannot define. You are the healing that the world tries to silence. You are the anointed one who walked through fire and came out gold. And those who were meant to walk with you will find you, not through lies, but through light. Not through force, but through faith. Not through manipulation, but through divine alignment. Until then, rise, shine, and remember who you are. Let me know if you'd like this formatted as a printable or spiritual journal entry.